Was today's offering at Princes Park, where Demon fans were hoping for some revenge after the Hawks handed Melbourne a record 96-point thumping in the big one last September. Since 1985, in fact, the two clubs have met on 9 occasions, with Hawthorn winning 7 and Melbourne 2. The most notable being, of course, the last kick job in the preliminary final of 87 and, naturally, the grand final 1 year later. Today, the Hawks were going for their 10th win in a row, but a side already depleted by injuries and suspension. Paul Abbott was another to be sidelined after last week's 5-point heartstopper against the West Coast Eagles. And Melbourne too made one late change to their selected side, Bailey coming in for Yates. And like the MCG, naturally enough, I guess, the ground resembling a quagmire. With me in the commentary box are Ian Robertson and Ross Glendinning, and tonight we pick up play with some highlights of the first quarter.
Need to be a miraculous kick from there. It won't be a score. Oh, Platten from mid-air has goal.
Healy takes the ball from the throw-in. Chance there for Howard. He can't mark the football. Striving hard now. Newport kicks for goal. It's there.
Touched, says Gary Ayres, but the goal umpire won't agree.
The forward side of centre wing. Chance now for Condon. Condon kicks it towards the centre half forward position, and Buckenara takes the mark. Buckenara now looks for Dunstall. Out in front. Good mark by Dunstall.
And kicked well to Jason Dunstall.
Dunstall's kick from centre half forward is okay.
And certainly not too much in it at quarter time. 5 goals kicked in the opening term, and the Demons holding a narrow lead of 5 points, as you saw, in conditions very, very poor indeed, despite the fact that the ground staff at Princes Park worked on the ground all day Sunday. We go back to the match now, and we pick up play at the start of the second term.
Second quarter starts at Princes Park. The Demons leading by 5 points. And Hawthorn through Whitman up towards half forward. Duursma out to Gary Lyon at the kick marked at centre field by Hawthorn's Greg Deere, who had slightly the better of his 2 Melbourne opponents in the ruck in the opening term. Tries for the spiral punt, didn't do too badly, although it is a new ball, knocked away by Hughes, and the umpire said there was some shepherding there, and it will be a free kick to be taken by Gary Lyon. Not a particularly good kick. Comes out to Lovett, who has the job of minding Buckenara, and Jenke takes the mark for Hawthorn. Tingay's tackle, partially effective, and that's a great mark taken by Tony Hall, only millimetres from the ground. Probably won't suit him today, his conditions. Jason Dunstall at the back, and Morrissey tries for one from mid-air, a la John Platten in the first quarter, but registers only 1 behind. So the difference 4 points. Danny Hughes goes to the outer side. Dwyer and Dippy Domenico. Over the top was Greg Deere. It comes to no, it was Collins, picked up by Pritchard. Pritchard's kick into the goal square. Dunstall can't mark, runs into his teammate Morrissey, which didn't help their cause. Morrissey gets the hand pass out. Dunstall, snapshot, brilliant, and goals.
Brilliant snapshot, boy. Great work there from James Morrissey. Actually ran into Dunstall in the contest initially. Dunstall having got front position on Danny Hughes, just continued to contest for the ball. And eventually, in doing so, got the ball out. Here we see him running into Jason Dunstall, but controlled that ball very well for Melbourne defenders around him. Equally good play there by Jason Dunstall to snap his second goal.
So the Hawks hit the front in the early part of the second term. They lead by 2 points. Dunstall, 2 goals to his name. Deere gets the tap out again. Eye shoulder chance. Tries to flip it back. Now a chance for Newport. Kick over the shoulder. Did that cover the required distance? Yes. Deere's hand pass wide. Looking out there for Collins. Collins runs away from his opposition and kicks Hawthorn into their forward half. There's nearly a mark to O'Dwyer. Now a chance for Buckenara. His kick is smothered. The ball comes back to Greg Healy. He's pushed off the ball as he kicks. Whitman's hand pass, really to no one in particular. Morrissey can't kick it off the ground. It's a glue pot. Now a chance for the Melbourne player, Lyon.
He played kicking in danger, didn't he?
Well, I think yes, against Michael Tucker it was, yes.
Yes, it definitely looked like it. And Lyon takes the free kick at half-back. He kicks it out towards the wing. O'Dwyer tries to tap it over the back. Eyeshold can't get the handball clear. Collins pulled off the ball. Platten's a chance. Always burrowing as John Platten. Now Tuck gets his kick away up towards the half-forward area. Gary Lyon under pressure. Kick off the ground, over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw-in about 65 metres maybe a little more, maybe 70 metres from the Hawthorn goal. The Hawks through Dunstall hit the lead in the early part of this second quarter. Hall overruns it. Lyon in there for Melbourne, and the umpire will bounce just inside 50 metres. So the Hawks about a kick and a half away from their goal in atrocious conditions at Princes Park.
Yes, there should be another adjective, I think, a little stronger. Then again, I dare say the Merry Creek soil in the centre of the field is a little stronger.
There's Steins in Finch there, Peter, against Greg Deere.
Yes, O'Dwyer is going crook.
Again, Deere in the front position.
Jimmy Steins will be a bit crook on your Ross. He's about 80 metres away from that.
And Deere has the free kick. On a dry day, you'd give him a chance. Today, no hope at all of getting the distance. Curran! There's one player I wouldn't have thought would enjoy the conditions today. It's Peter Curran, but it was a strong mark.
Read it pretty well.
He complements Jason Dunstall and Gary Buckenara, Tony Hall very well on that forward line. In fact, Hawthorn regard him as probably one of their top marks alongside Jason Dunstall.
He's had trouble getting a permanent senior berth this year, though. Curran from 25 metres out. Oh, it's close, I don't know. We'll wait on the goal umpire. It's a goal.
It's a good kick from there, Peter, because of the conditions. It's so very heavy there. Players lose their footing very quickly. You only need to deviate an inch either side as you go to kick with that planted foot, and the ball can so easily skew off to the side. So a very good kick there from Peter Curran.
I think it's only his second or third senior game this year. He's had a lot of trouble, as I said, cementing a senior place in the side.
Umpire trying to get some sort of area to throw it up. The punch goes out the back. Brilliant gather by Newport. Newport's left foot kick towards half forward. Lyon now up on the forward line. Melbourne seeing that they're perhaps a little depleted up there. Gary Lyon, who started at half back on Tony Hall.
Yeah, moved Sean White down onto Tony Hall now, Ian. And a good move too, because Lyon gives them far more bite up there.
At half forward. Kick off the ground by Newport. Gathered by Jenke, ineffective. Stretch, couldn't break clear. Now the ball comes clear. O'Dwyer pushed off it. Chance for Eyersholt. His left foot kick ineffective. Dipper looking for the mark. Call play on. Kick goes back into towards the centre. Gathered by Phoebe. Phoebe's short pass is perfect into the pocket, and the mark has been taken by Tingay.
He's been very busy, Phoebe, and that's a fine kick in these conditions.
He's their best player.
Not only to kick the distance, but to find young Stephen Tingay in that position.
Well, I've got the strong feeling that Stephen Phoebe hails from Tasmania, and these conditions would suit. Tingay's kick has been smothered. Beveridge can't break clear of the Platten tackle, and holding the ball against young Luke Beveridge.
That's a bit hard.
And Platten will take the free kick in the back pocket.
I think under these conditions they're being a little bit tough. However, ball hustled up towards Hawthorn centre wing position. Morrissey trips as he socketed off the ground. Phoebe again kicks into double figures now, off the hands of McGuinness. Lyon trying to burrow in and get the ball out of the pack. It comes to Spalding. He'll look for the hand pass too, picked up by Tingay again, and one behind. Excellent play by Langford.
Terrific play there.
4-3 to 3-2. The Hawks by only 7 points after Melbourne led at quarter time by 5. And that is a mark to Gary Lyon. On a dry day, Lyon, one of the better kicks in the Melbourne side, would get this. He'll be kicking from round about 50 metres.
Melbourne forwards must be in front of this situation. The ball's going to drop short. They can't be behind.
And it does drop short. O'Dwyer read it superbly. Newport's kick won't travel the required distance for a mark. That's socket off the ground, and that's a goal.
Greg Healy.
And for the second time today, Gary Ayres giving the goal umpire a mouthful because he reckons he touched it.
Yes, well, perhaps he may have, but how very difficult it is for those umpires there in that situation. Such a congestion of players. We see the ball going in the air, all Sporting knocking the ball over the back. A good contest there from Greg Healy to get that ball through very quickly. And here Gary Ayres is still remonstrating with the goal umpire.
So Greg Healy kicks his second, and Greg Deere stands his ground at the ruck contest in the centre. Chance now for Melbourne to come forward through Beveridge. Beveridge's kick wide to half forward. Kick off the ground's on by Tingay. Goes about 15 metres wide. Oh, great dive there by Lyon, who certainly added a bit of flavour to the Melbourne forward line. Here's a free kick going to be picked out of this, is there? Central umpire coming in, it is, yes.
Scott McGuinness, very untidy tackle on Gary Lyon.
So Lyon will take the free kick about 65 metres from goal, kicks it within the 50-metre line. Hawthorn defence under pressure. There's a free kick to the Hawthorn side. It'll be taken by Pritchard. He's about 45 metres from the Melbourne goal. And what happened there? Pritchard bounced. His kick falls short. No mark taken. Punch on by White. Gather by Hall. A little high the tackle. Play on, says the umpire. Tuck's kick. Interception by Dersma. Good tackle there by Whitman. Platten kicks the ball towards the half-forward area. Good hand pass. Schwab. And it's intercepted by Lovett. Melbourne come clear. Rebound football. Hughes kick wide to Grinter. Tries a tap across the top. Dipidomenico with skill. Kicks it up towards Buckenara. He flips it back. Now a chance for Whitman. Whitman's kick, ineffective. Morrissey's gather. Comes back onto the left foot, James Morrissey. Look at this mud heap. He kicks it to no one in particular. Now Melbourne will come clear. Kick off the ground by Steins. Another kick off the ground by Newport. Went nowhere. Dive on the football by Deere. Not rewarded. Oh, look at that ball. It's going nowhere. Gather now by Curran. Kick up towards half forward. Sean White, he gets the ball out to stretch, and now some constructive football will come of it. Steins back over the top. Stretch falls over. Tuck goes after it. Can't gain his footing. Kick off the ground by Steins. A flip out. Here's a chance for Healy. He's pushed off the football by Platten. Out it comes now to Jenke. Jenke's kick towards full forward, and there's a great mark. Play on, says the umpire. Listen to the Hawthorn supporters go berserk as Danny Hughes clears for Melbourne.
Well, what are you got to do? He took the mark. Now, Howard. And socked away by Grinter. Langford, good hip and shoulder, puts him out of business. Healy again, off the ground. Now Spalding is caught with the ball, but the umpire says no, play on. Healy again. Coggins, left back pocket. Steins can't take the mark. Hand pass comes out in the direction of Stretch. Well tackled by Michael Tuck. Tingay is caught by Coggins and drops the ball. Play continues again. It's out of bounds, 45 metres out. And the Hawthorn fans echoing the thoughts of this decision here, which was an absolute shocker. O'Dwyer wins it well. Beveridge gets his kick. That's an excellent goal kick by Beveridge. Great stuff from the Demons.
So back in the centre. It's amazing what happens in football. One mistake, all of a sudden it goes back up the other end and the Demons kick a goal. Nothing could come of that ruck contest. Now we have another one, not far away from the centre circle. Steins gets it down. Curran can't break clear. Now a chance for Platten. Good kick off the ground towards centre half forward. Buckenara gets it out to Dipidomenico. Dipidomenico shot for goal is wide, out of bounds on the full. So the free kick will go to Melbourne. Deep in their defence to be taken by Danny Hughes. His kick is okay. Out wide to half-back. Player on the bottom of the pack, Dipidomenico, can't get it out. Now there's a chance for Phoebe. His hand pass is okay. Lovett out to Tingay. And the Demons get out of trouble pretty well. The kick towards half-forward. Lyon, who's doing pretty well, can't quite control that kick. And it goes over for a boundary throw-in. Centre wing out of side. And just in Melbourne's attacking half. Gary Lyon absolutely covered in Princes Park mud. Steins tries to get it down to Lyon. Steins has a chance again. Tingay there to help out. Up against the boundary line. Tingay's left foot kick covers 30 or 40 metres, but marked there by Gary Ayres close to the boundary line in the back pocket.
Here's his kick to centre wing. Off the ground from Whitman, or it might have been Coggins who does that same again. Superb tackle by Michael Tuck. Likewise, Sean White. Hall onto Platten. Couldn't handle the greasy ball. Tries to get clear. Tackled and drops it. Well, no free kick for it. Umpire calls play on. Jenke does the shepherding for Mew. And that would certainly be a sticky wicket. Come on and bowl leg spin there from either end. You wouldn't get any turn, it'd just stop.
They don't all have a shower and come out in clean gear after half-time. I give up.
We might go home, I think, Ian. No one making any headway out of that contest.
I can assure you, if I was out there, I'd be having a shower at half.
Truly with us. Tonight, the big one from the MCG. The Blues take on North from Princes Park. Highlights from VFL Park, Moorabbin and Windy Hill. And Scott Palmer brings us the latest from the rooms in what really has been, I guess, a sensational week of football. First to Princes Park, where North Melbourne journeyed there this afternoon. Just